Now, I know a lot of YouTubers have covered the differences between a cruise ship and an ocean liner. But it still seems that there are a lot of my YouTube viewers who actually don't know, and they generally want to learn. And so, in my own words, I will explain what the differences are. So, first and foremost, an ocean liner takes people from one place to another. Ocean liners generally aren't designed to entertain so much as to just get you from point A to point B. Ocean liners are also generally stronger and faster than cruise ships. Cruise ships, on the other hand, are more designed for entertainment. Even if for some reason you don't get to your various ports that the cruise ship needs to get to, you can still have fun on board the cruise ship. There's still plenty of entertainment. Cruise ships are also designed to go slower because, quite frankly, they're not always in need of getting to any place in a hurry. And also, cruise ships are not really designed for the rough weather of open ocean. While they can survive that weather, they don't do it as steady as an ocean liner would. So let's get further into that. Let's talk about how ocean liners are stronger and faster. Basically, ocean liners are like passenger trains for the ocean. They take you from one place to another just so you can get to where you need to go. And so let's say a hurricane was to blow through the ocean. Uh, Immediately, cruise ships would try to find a way around the storm or would wait for the storm to pass. Ocean liners may opt to actually drive through the storm because they do have to maintain a schedule. The people who booked passage are looking to get to their destination for something else that's important. So, depending on the severity of the storm, the ocean liner may decide just to cut right through the storm. If it's really, really, really bad, they will make attempts to get around to the less bad areas of the storm. You know, basically just taking on the lesser brunt of the storm. But nevertheless, they are stronger and faster and are willing to take on that. For example, this is the Titanic. It was put into service in 1912, and you can imagine it is very antiquated by today's standards. Yet the Titanic, with her 24 knot maximum speed, is still to this day faster than most modern cruise ships. And dare I say, the Titanic could probably take on some storms that cruise ships could not take on. What kind of strength do these ocean liners have? Well, for one thing, they have a more robust support structure. All their frames and everything are generally stronger and denser and thicker in every way you can think of to make them able to handle rough weather easier. But also, the outer steel plates on ocean liners were also thicker. Today, the average thickness of the steel plates on a cruise ship is just about half an inch or a little over 1 centimeter. But ocean liners could have hull plates that ranged anywhere from 1 inch thick to 1.5 inches thick. So about anywhere between 3 times the thickness of a cruise ship's hull. And that was to withstand the brunt force of the waves crashing and hitting the ship. And then also the bending that the ocean liners take when they go over the massive waves. But the other thing about ocean liners is, generally speaking, they have more of a knife-like bow that allows them to cut through waves. The most modern ocean liner in existence is the Queen Mary II, and as a matter of fact, she is the last ocean liner in service out on the ocean. And even her hull, which looks more like a cruise ship's hull, is still designed with a lot of the same features, the same safety systems to allow the ship to cut through the waves. So ocean liners are really designed for that weather. You might even notice that even the Queen Mary II has a very interesting stepped stern. The stepped stern allows it so if a wave were to come up from behind the ship, it wouldn't damage the superstructure as much because it's stepped further away from the stern. Modern cruise ships don't have that. A lot of their sterns are actually very close to flat. So those windows and everything would definitely get destroyed by massive waves hitting the stern of the ship. But the other thing about the differences between cruise ships and ocean liners is their speed. Again, it has to do with getting to their destination faster. But speed helps in a storm because not only does it help you to get through the storm faster, but sometimes with these massive sea storms, the wind and the currents can push a ship off its course. So having that speed and that raw horsepower allows the ocean liners to stay on course and get through that storm. It's very important that ocean liners are fast for that very reason. And so basically, that is essentially the differences between cruise ships and ocean liners. But there is one more thing I want to mention. People have asked, well, what about the ports that they go to? Well, that's interesting. So you may have noticed that on ships, there is generally an area underwater where the hull is painted red. Sometimes it's a different color, but generally speaking, it's red. Well, that's the anti-fouling paint that prevents corrosion from hurting the steel hull of the ship. But the depth to which the ship is underwater is called the draft. We might spell it D-R-A-F-T, or if you're British, you might spell it D-R-A-U-G-H-T, draft. And you'll notice that ocean liners, generally speaking, have a deeper draft than cruise ships. That's because, again, when ocean liners hit those massive storms, they tend to roll a lot. Well, having more weight at the bottom of the ship under the water allows the ship to correct itself a lot easier. That's why cruise ships, generally speaking, don't recover from rolling as easily. Again, this is all generally speaking. There are some differences, some ships that are the exception to the rule. But you'll notice that ocean liners have a deeper draft. That also affects the ports they can go to. So a lot of cruise ships go to tropical ports or very beautiful ports. So if you're going to Venice or if you're going to the Bahamas, those ports generally are more shallow. They're shallow bays. And so having a slimmer draft allows those cruise ships to get into a lot of those ports. But ocean liners can't do those ports. They have to stop in ports with deeper water. So what are some of the differences? Well, let me put it this way. The Queen Mary II, which is the most modern ocean liner currently at sea, has a draft of 34 feet below water. Yet larger ships like the Oasis class cruise ships, I mean, you could look at pictures right now, there's a definite difference in size. The Oasis class cruise ships have a draft anywhere between 30 to 31 feet, as opposed to Queen Mary II's 34-foot draft. So you can see that even though the cruise ships may be larger, they're still shallower underwater, which allows them to get into those ports. So that is my quick and brief explanation of the difference between ocean liners and cruise ships. And again, besides the physical differences, there's also the differences between how they handle things. Ocean liners are really more designed for transportation, whereas cruise ships are really more designed to entertain. Again, ocean liners are in a hurry. Cruise ships are not always in a hurry. Ocean liners need to cut through the storms. Cruise ships, they like to steer around storms, and they like to float in shallower water off the coast and even stopping in small harbors and bays. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this content, consider supporting my channel by either signing up for my Patreon or to my YouTube memberships. That way you can get exclusive perks in return. Links are in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.